Hi, you guys, and thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of the Melanin Playbook.
Yes, welcome back. Welcome back.
Yeah. So you get two of us tonight. Miss Me and Lanete. Me, myself is Herc. And we got Lanete, the lovely Lanete.
Hello, how are you all doing on this lovely evening?
So we're gonna pick up where we left off throughout the season, which is just calling out all of the BS that floats around us or is within us. So we started out episode 1 talking about BS versus the truth. You heard some of us own up to some things that we had going on within ourselves internally and how we overcame those until the second episode where you got to hear us talk about sexuality. And that's not just our sexuality, but being open and accepting to other people's sexuality. And now you get to see the ripple effect which is
Right.
evaluating your circle. So this is
Which is
talking
important.
about talking about the energy that you keep around you or the energy that you put out. So let's get down to the nitty gritty of it. Cause we're gonna be just raw and uncut this season, so be prepared.
Right.
So, I think honestly, we all can be honest with ourselves and say that we have hung out with individuals that we later find out was just not on the level of what we thought they were, or not even in our space to be, wasn't supposed to be a part of our circle. Like, I can definitely say that that's kind of been the talk point for me. So, I don't know, Lynette. I mean, what you think? What you vibe on it? Do you think people like attract negativity to them, or like do you think it's something that they put out and then it's just people flock? Like, what is it?
Well, of course, like when on here, when we talk, we always talk about personal experiences. So, I can't speak for everyone, but for me, I feel like it stems from, your friendships and things from high school. So, as an example, for me, I had to learn that, when you're in school and you see these people every day, you're hanging out with them, or even if you have like extra activities you do with them, like sports or anything of that nature, you tend to cling to those individuals, right? But then as you elevate in life and you realize, like, outside of, when you graduate or, whatever happens outside of high school, you realize that a lot of things are different. You realize your mindset is different, the way they handle situations are different. And so you start just, realizing, okay, I don't think this is a person that I would want to be around all the time, because for me, I give people a fair chance, like I don't say, oh, you can't be my friend, because I actually get to know a person first, right? And then when I get to know them, that's when or like kind of like realize, okay, yeah, I can hang with them. I can vibe off of their energy. But then it's like otherwise, you'll be like, no, we're not the same, and you kind of like have to cut yourself off for them because you're wanting to elevate and you're seeing
Yeah.
that they're not. So it has a big effect on you, because whether or not people believe it or not, your friends do have a big impact on certain decisions that you make and things like that, because you go to them. You'll go to your friend before you go to your family, because you feel like your family might judge a certain situation. So, you just
So,
have
and
to act
that's
yourself.
that's like big true because you can kind of see how like look, I'm sorry, we big insecure fans. We can't help it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you can kind of see like how Molly, Molly and Issa relationship went when they were starting to go distance from each other during that season, and you can see how the decision making process was different, how much harder it
Mhm.
was. It was kind of like the expectation had to change. So when I was
Mhm.
talking to somebody yesterday, well, a couple of days ago, not yesterday, but we were talking about how the first level of the ripple is supposed to be you. You're the person that starts the ripple effect.
Mhm.
So it's the energy that you put out that spreads throughout. So we got to think about ripple. When something drops in a pot of water, it ripples. It starts as something small and it goes into something bigger. It's like sending waves out and letting it be known
Mhm.
that there's a presence. But of course, at all times, you are supposed to be in a space of where you're controlling that ripple, how it works. And I think sometimes we put ourselves in situations where we're looking for anything in the vicinity to come to us or to touch anybody just because we feel alone in that moment. So then
Mhm.
we pull people into we create an unbalanced circle. That's a good statement.
Yeah.
We
And I
create
and
an
then
unbalanced circle where we allow people to come in that really don't fit, but we like,
mhm.
you know what? Because you came to me, we find some divine mindset or a thought process to be like, you know what, that's the person out there. So they supposed to be here. Something about them supposed to give them in. It's like, no, you
It's
got
not
food.
mhm. And
Like you got
then
food.
you also have to people always say, I want to be equally yoked with my spouse, but you have to be equally yoked with a friend as well. You have to have a friendship that's equally yoked. And what okay, so I don't know if anybody kind of been seeing what's been going on social media with like Shekinah Joe and
Mhm,
Tiny.
mhm.
And so with them, that this is like a good example of what we're talking about as far as your circle and your ripple effect
Get
because
the shape
to
together.
yeah, because I know, right? Because like to me, now that a lot has came out, I felt like they was unequally yoked, and that's kind of where I'm getting this statement of being equally yoked, not only to your relationship or your partner that you're with, but your friendship too, because you have to ask yourself, like, am I getting what I am putting into this friendship? I don't think a lot of people look at friendships as a necessary relationship, but it is because, if you're
Yeah,
around a person, this is somebody that you have shared dark secrets with, stuff sometimes your family don't know, your friends know, and things like that. So you have to just kind of evaluate yourself and say, hey, am I putting too much in this person, or is this person putting too much? Like, what am I getting out of this friendship? Not saying you're looking to get anything out of it, but you are, because you don't want to feel overwhelmed with feeling like, dang, like I'm putting way more to this friendship. I care way too much and they don't. To me, it's the same thing as being in a relationship. You have to evaluate your friendships as well, because no, I don't. You want to be a person that want to be around people that is elevating you,
yeah,
putting
not
positivity
prohibiting
into
you.
you. Yes, like you don't want to go to someone with an ideal and they always shooting it down, or you don't want to talk to someone about something and they always have something negative to say, because that's going to affect you and your decision making, or make you feel some type of way. But you just have to ask yourself, like, am I happy in this friendship, or am I happy with the people that I'm around? Because if you're not, then you have to evaluate your circle, and then I guess that's where the ripple effect
That's where
starts
it
to
kind of
take
goes.
place.
So,
Yeah.
so I would say like, um, it's question time. I always love questions.
Yeah.
So like so form of circle. So like we gonna tie, yeah, I'm tying insecure. I cannot help it. Okay. It's my favorite TV show. It's off the
Yeah.
air. We're paying homage. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Until we feel it goes out of our hearts, then we're gonna continue to do it like Issa is alive every day. Um but no, so like even when it came to the situation with her, her Molly, Tiffany, and what's her name? Kelly have like a whole circle going on. Their circle fits and it works, and it was so beautiful to see even at the end of the
Mhm.
show just how involved and supportive they are with one another. But can you remember the episode where like her and Molly was not talking because they got
Mhm.
into it about the therapy situation,
Mhm.
and then how like the circle was just ragging on you, like you could tell Molly was at a low point and they were just making fun and joking at her expense, and it took Issa to stand up for her, for it to be so it's like sometimes you have to evaluate moments like in that. So like what did you feel watching that scene of having people within your circle kind of down you at that point?
So to me, I see it as, being that they were so close and they knew so much about each other, they felt entitled to speak their mind. So I think it came to a point where in that moment of them having their differences, sis, I feel like neither one of them honestly took the time out to evaluate anything that either one was saying. I feel like both of them had they wall up and was very defensive because Molly was saying things to Issa um that hit nerves, that because it was true, and vice versa. She was saying stuff to Molly that hit her, and I feel like neither one of them wanted to face the fact that they're telling the truth about each other, and it instead of them realizing that, they both got defensive because you're my friend and you're telling me the truth, but that's not what I want to hear right now. And I think those are the type of friends you need. And I think being that they was with each other every day for years and being around each other for years, they needed that moment away, just like relationships, not tying it back in, but you need a break from friends sometimes. But then, of course, when they sat back and they had other people in their circle, which are like, what's her name? I can't think of her name. Um, the two other friends. Why I can't think of their names? Help
Um,
me out.
talking about
You
Kelly and Tiffany,
Right. And you see how Molly vented to one and the other one vented to
the
the
other,
other.
yeah.
And they both was telling them the truth, like, hey, this is this and this is that, to help, get it back together. And to me, that's the circle that you're needing, because sometimes you can't, when you have those moments, you do need another friend to help you see it a different way. And they
I th-
needed that.
I think like so. I think people with people in circles. I think one thing they don't. I think people don't recognize that circles are meant to be dynamic. It's not
Mhm.
supposed to be a shape of everyone has the same mindset. That's not how a circle is
No,
built up.
right.
And so I think like we be like, oh well, they don't agree with us, or they don't flow with us, so they can't be in our circle. I'm like, no, it's not supposed to agree with everything. You're supposed to have different
Mhm.
like personalities that line up. So like for my circle, there's different individuals. Of course,
Mhm.
there's everybody that's on the show here. And then also, there's my homeboy, Steven, who y'all know is Jamez from last season.
Mhm.
Um, he that's part of my circle. Like, and do we agree on everything all the time? No, we don't. But at the end of the day, that's bro, that's fam. It is what it is. So it's like your circle is dynamic. Even my spouse
Mhm.
being at the level he is, he's still in my circle. He's a part of my circle. He's my best friend. So I still will go talk and have a conversation and be there. So that's still a part of my circle. Do we always agree on everything? No, it's not gonna be the case. But it's some things that I may have to come to terms with, and it's some things he may have to come to terms with. And your circle is supposed to be building you up. So they can't build each other up if it's the same mindset for everybody. Like it's
Mhm.
not gonna work. So it's it's crazy how we talk about circles and things in life, because a lot of the times when we do think about our friends, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna ask you this question because it's just be honest. Do you have
Mhm.
any friends, like how many friends from way back when you can say you still ride with now?
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say two. I'm gonna say two. But honestly, I don't know, because I feel like I'm going into a new season in my life, and I have moments where I have to think about it, like, is this something, worth holding on to, or is this something that I really need to just let it be? Because I do have moments where I feel like, maybe I'm um I'm wanting more of the friendship
Yeah.
than what's really there. But like, me being here in Texas, of course, I feel like the circle that I have here found me. because I never really had a circle. It was always just a friend or two, and acquaintance, and I say that thanks to my son playing football, the circle that I have now, they're very positive. They are very mature. When I go through things, they're there to keep me motivated. If it's something that's going on, they're gonna let me know the real. And me having something like that makes me kind of think about the friends that I had all my life. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's not the same. So I mean, it's kind of changing because I feel like I'm opening up into a new season in life, and I'm in this moment. It seems like every topic we have is like, dang, like I'm going through this right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's because so yeah, I can say two, but I can feel a distance now, and I
Yeah,
I don't know if it's because maybe I'm thinking about it too much. I am the one who moved away. I am still the
so
one
yeah,
that's single, and
sometimes we do.
they do have other things going on in their life, so I try to incorporate all that into it. So I just want to, like, I'm being selfish thinking about me, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So yeah, from childhood to now, I can say two, but everybody else, no. Like, I had a moment, I kid you not, hurt. I was driving one day, just driving. I had this one friend. I was just driving, and I was in Mississippi, and I was on the highway, and I was just driving. Wasn't even thinking about nothing, just listening to my music, just enjoying my little day. And all of a sudden, something hit me. It was like, this person is not your friend. And I was like, what? Like, it out of nowhere. And I'm like, not my friend. Where did that come from? And it's like ever since that moment of that happening to me, everything just started happening to let me see, like, this is
what's
not your
the
friend.
real?
This is not your friend. This is not your friend. And I was like, wow, like, and it's
Sometimes
so
you had those
crazy.
realizations, like the stuff that
Yes.
happened. Because, like for me, I had to change. I had to change my dynamic with friends. So that was the good thing about this topic because it made me think about how you evaluate your circle. And it's not just evaluating your circle, but it's evaluating the role you play in your circle. Because
Mhm.
sometimes the role doesn't fit. And then
Mhm.
you're like, I'm trying to be a part because I'm invested in the circle, so I don't want to break that up.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
for me, I got to a point where I felt within the circle I was being too much of a giver. And I
Mhm.
felt like I was letting people get away with certain things out of
Mhm.
the length of the friendship, respecting the
Mhm.
relationship. And then when I
Mhm.
had to like come to terms that I wasn't getting that back, like that wasn't what I
Mhm.
was getting back. And I was like, so I'm doing this, I'm dropping what I am doing at the moment, doing this, putting my friends first because they were like fam. And then it's
Mhm.
like, but then at the end of the day, I wasn't getting the same respect. I had some friends that we'd go out, I paid to eat, and then go out with them that never have,
Happened.
returned the favor.
Mhm.
You have, some of those friends that, hey, let's go do this. I get ready to get planned up, get ready to go do this, and then all of a sudden it's not happening. And it's
Oh my
no,
God.
it's no oh, hey, I had something else to do. It wasn't that type of situation. And that's happened with multiple people. And so then
Mhm.
it just got to a point. It was like, you know what? You gotta demand the respect and you gotta control the
Mhm.
circle. And if the circle is out of control for you, you don't need to be in that circle.
No,
And so that's like
at
that was
all.
my mindset. And it was just like, sometimes when we're in circles, we're so busy, and that's why I asked that question, because sometimes we're so busy thinking about the length of time we've been with people that it's like we don't think of the effects that is put on us. How often have we dropped the ball on ourselves trying to be there for somebody else, or
And then I,
how
I don't even I don't even think it's about the length of time either, because me personally, I feel like if you are a true and genuine friend to a person, you don't have those type of thoughts. You're just going through the motions of things because you are being a real friend, and they're not, but you're not really seeing it. You're noticing things that make you kind of feel uncomfortable, but at the same time it's like it's kind of going over your head because you're like, this is my friend, we cool, maybe, try. making excuses sometimes, like, okay, maybe they just dealing with something, or maybe I'm just overthinking the situation, or maybe it's me. But it's like when you're being really genuine and, looking out for your people in your circle, you really don't take that extra time to kind of see, like, dang, like, when I go out, I'm like, I got it. But it's never a moment where they're like, you good, I got it. But it takes it happening multiple times for you to be like, okay, wait a minute. Let me step back now. Okay. And you try not to do tit for tat type of things. But when things keep
I mean, but
happening
tit
like
for tat
that,
is it ain't tit for tat. It's me reacting. Like, and I think some
right.
people forget we're human, so we're gonna of course go back and react in a certain way. Like if you step off of your distance and you doing your thing, then I'm gonna step back and do the same thing. Like I'm gonna go be in my corner too, because it's like sometimes the energy. Let me. Okay, you know what? I was trying not to be raw and uncut, but fuck it. Yep, I gotta say that. Sometimes in situations we
Mhm.
are so like we said in episode one, dealing with the bullshit of the situation within ourselves. We don't want to
Mhm.
take in mind for the situations of what we have going on.
Mhm.
So then we are like, okay, well, I'm trying to be here for you, and I'm trying to do this for you. I'm putting me on the back burner. I'm not doing what I need to do this and that. And then in reality, I'm just searching for somebody to blame for my BS, so to speak.
Yeah.
Being 100.
Yeah.
So circle is something. Circle is energy. We don't acknowledge that. Like circle is a passing of energy in one direction. It's going around. It's in a loop. Everybody's supposed to be able to benefit from this energy within the circle. Okay. So
Mhm.
when I can't benefit from the energy of this circle anymore, I got to get the hell out the circle. Like that's
Mhm.
just at this point. Sometimes you can try to figure out where there's a disconnect. Did somebody not pay an energy bill? What was going on? Is there
Mhm.
something that didn't happen right? Like what was it? You know what I mean? You might have to try to do it that way. And then
Yeah.
sometimes you're gonna have to be in a point. You know what? Screw you. Thank you. Got to go. Like because
Right.
I can't really sit there and allow you to keep me disconnected in a situation that I can't grow or benefit from. Like I can't sit there and continue to do that. So then at this point, I have outgrown you because now I'm recognizing the flaws that have been sitting in front of me the entire time. So people, and this ain't just in circles. This ain't just in friends. This is in marriages, relationships. This is a lot of things. When you get together with somebody, when y'all link up a relationship, that is part of your circle because you are the circle. You are the centerpiece of a circle.
Mhm.
Anybody that you allow to attract to you is in a circle of energy around you, which means you have to be mindful of how you let the ripples fade because what happens to ripples as they grow, they get weaker and weaker and weaker. That means we're not supposed to spread our energy too thin where it's draining us instead of enabling us to get better.
Mhm.
So then when you allow the ripple to get too big, you're touching individuals at that point that are not even supposed to be in your lineup. You're not even supposed to be there. Like sometimes a ripple effect is to show people you're the type of person you are and who they can be. And that's all it's
Mhm.
meant to do. The ripple ain't meant to pull everybody in. It ain't meant to touch everybody in
Mhm.
a way that makes it feel like the dynamic is supposed to pull them to you. We don't acknowledge that, so we don't fully evaluate our circles. And that's why we find out our friends are sleeping with our spouses. That's why we find out
Mhm.
that the reason we didn't get this job because your friend said something behind your back. That's why we
Mhm.
find out that your business get down the street because the person you think in your circle is telling all your damn
Yes.
business.
And
So
that actually happened
it
to
has
me being in high school, and I had family. I'm not gonna lie, my my aunt used to tell me all the time that this, when I was gonna ask you that, like, have you ever had someone to be like, that's not your friend, but you didn't take them serious? And
yeah.
that happened to me. Like, like, my aunt kept telling me, she was like, that's not your friend. She's like, that's not your friend. And I was just like, you don't know her, da 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 da. But a situation happened, and I was like, wow, hurting me to the core, because I would have never thought that this person that I thought would be my friend would have this rumor going out about me, basically, and You know what? Forget it. I mean, well, no, I'm not gonna say forget it because that's a little personal. But yeah, they had a rumor
No, don't
going
say
out.
forget it. We're on a platform where you can put it out there. Why would you say forget it?
Okay, well, you know what? You're right. So I have to get comfortable with being so I'm transparent to a certain extent. Okay, so all right, situation. Here you go. I was in school and I had of course I was a teenage mother. So this situation of my supposed to have been friend and the people that we was hanging around with made a rumor that my son dad wasn't his dad. And I just was like, and I didn't want to believe it. I did not want to believe
Hold
it.
on,
I did
that's
not
your
want to
what
believe it.
now? Rewind that. Say what now?
My son dad wasn't his dad.
Oh my
They was
God.
they yes, it was bad. Okay, so and I didn't want to believe it, but I had so many people calling me and telling me, that, and just to let you all know, I'm not promiscuous like that. You know what I'm saying? So it hurted my feelings for that rumor to even happen because I never placed myself in a situation where I have to be like, I don't know who my baby. No, that's not me. Never been me. Never will be me. So I knew then that it was a point of jealousy. Like it a lot of people had to open my eyes to realize, like, they trying to tear you down because, you got a lot going for yourself. You got a lot of people who cool with you, a lot of people that like hang a lot of people just had to open my eyes. So long story short, we had a little come to Jesus meeting, and they were stating to me, no, I never would say nothing like that. I never would do nothing like that. But honestly, Hurt, I couldn't feel no emotions because I knew in that moment that you did it. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
knew then that you said it. And so that's when I had to pull myself back from those people. And I always felt like I was different from them, but it was like maybe it was a moment. I was like, maybe it's just me or
I think a
whatever.
lot of time people feel that though. And then you be like, well, I feel like I'm different, but I'm still trying to be a part of the circle. And sometimes that's telling you that I need to step
That's
back
that
from
voice
it.
you ain't listening
That's that
to.
voice. Yeah, that's the voice you're not listening to that's telling you,
Mhm.
okay, well, you need to step back from the circle
Mhm.
for a little minute and get yourself, do what you got to do and come back. Because if it's your real circle that you're supposed to be a part of, you can always step off and come back. That's just being 100.
Yes.
They would
Yes.
allow you to step off and they will hold the energy of that circle together while you do what you got to do. And they will cheer you on while you doing it. But if not, then the support won't be there for it.
It
And I
won't. And
and I I can remember being in circles where I was giving pep talks and giving talks and preaching and saying we got to do better and we got to be better and we can have this and we can do this and why we wasting our time and not doing gotta and this and that. And then I realized I should have been giving all those motivational speeches to
to
myself
yourself.
because I'm giving it to
Mhm.
individuals and they're comfortable where they are.
Mhm.
And it's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with being comfortable where you are. If that's where you want to be by God means, do it. But that wasn't like it for me. It was like, this is not what I want. So then I'm sitting here giving them the energy that I'm supposed to preserve for myself. And that's the downside to being in circles sometimes, because
And
sometimes you give away energy that's not meant for the
for
circle.
them.
It's meant for
Mhm.
you.
And then,
And if you can't
a lot of
decipher,
people.
you got a problem.
And then, like how you was giving that motivational speech, a lot of people, like you said, their mindset not with yours. So of course they're not gonna grasp it because people can. I had to learn people can be jealous of your vision, or they can be jealous of your ambition, and it take you having to something happened for you to realize that. Because like when I was transitioning over from moving from Jackson, Mississippi to Georgia, I had
Yeah.
somebody tell me, they was like, "You gonna go?" And I was like, "Yeah." They was like, told me like, "I don't think that's a good idea. I think you're gonna need like $10,000 to move." And I felt like that was like a negative
Yeah.
coming to me because I'm like, you know where we from, you know where we grew up. I'm taking a chance to better my son life because it wasn't about me. It was about my kids, you know. I'm like, I'm trying to motivate their life. Like, why would you make me feel bad because I don't have 10K in the bank? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you say that versus like, like anybody who comes to me and they're like, I want to move. I'm like, you know what? It's not gonna be easy, but it's durable. I always give a positive speech. Like I won't be like, well, you gonna need X amount of dollars to go because I feel like you can move with 10K and that 10K will be gone in 2 months. Because you're in a new place.
Yeah.
So it's like I
I mean,
I
why?
just
Like, 10,
mhm.
it don't take 10K, but
It doesn't. Let me
it
tell
does not
you.
take 10K. I think people just always want to like create downsides to positive
Yep.
situations, and it's because we moved up here like with hardly nothing. Like I
I
was
was
just
just about to say
so
that.
ready to get out of Mississippi at the time. I was just like, you know what? I told myself I didn't care if I had $5, I was gonna leave. Like I was just getting up out. Nothing. You will never be ready for the next step in life. Like
No,
just
you
being
won't.
100%. No matter how hard you try to prep yourself for it, you can only mentally prep yourself
Okay.
for it. Like you can mentally and maybe physically get yourself together for it. But even when you try financially, something always comes to loops. Your car
Yeah,
break
something
down,
always gonna
or
happen.
something gonna
Hmm.
happen. Like it's not always gonna be where you can get it the way you want it. And I think once you get in your mindset that life won't be exactly pan out the way you want it in your timing, you'll be great. And
Yes.
your circle is like that. Like sometimes we want friends and we like, you know what? I don't watch Sex in the City, or I don't watch Girlfriends, or I don't watch The Brothers, and I don't watch House Party. And I'm
And that's
seeing
all
these
TV
friends that
though.
right, and I'm seeing all living single, and I'm seeing all the
Hmm.
friend groups in the circles and this and that and how they hang tight. And I want that same thing because to be honest, let's be 100. That's where we get our mindset of what circles are and how they supposed to look and why we wanted them.
Hmm.
Because we watched stuff
Hmm.
like Moesha and the Parkers and all that, and we
Hmm.
saw how they
They
hung and
always
clicked
had
together.
friends.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that was the mindset of what we wanted. But then also they didn't show the negative effects of those friendships. Like they didn't
Right.
show,
Hmm.
you know, that, you gotta think about it. Using the Parkers, for example. You saw Kim T and Stevie hang together all the time. You saw how many other people was on that campus? But these
Nope.
were the three
Hmm.
that hung together. Why did they hang together
Hmm.
all the time? They've been through the tests and trials. They understood each other, even dated each other. And it was just
Hmm.
like, you know what, we know where we stand, we know what we want, and we can support each other enough where you can break off and go do what you want. Kim went off and started designing clothes. Stevie was set to study and get a degree and move on into business. You had T, who was writing music, wanted to be an artist. They never stopped each other from living the dream.
Right.
They
Right.
allowed it.
Definitely.
And so, but we overlooked that part because of course we're young watching it. So then we get in, we
Hmm.
like, this my homeboy because he did da 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 da. And he didn't help me when I'm down. Yada, yada, yada. Some people help you with they down because they like seeing you down. Just
Yeah.
100.
Because
Like
when
I'm
I
just gonna
moved,
give you the real.
right? Because when I moved, no lie, like just to be honest, when I moved to Georgia, I think I had like $128 to my name. Like I swear, I had like $128. All I told myself was I just need enough gas to get to where I'm going because I knew I had a job there because I transferred my job, but I had $128. So when I was told that I needed 10K, it stung a little bit because I'm like, dang, I don't even have that much, But
Right.
I
I
don't
only got
care,
1,000.
Right? Yeah, at the time, yes, it was a tough time for me then, but I stepped out on faith, and I felt like that wasn't the speech that I needed to hear to kind of keep me in Jackson, when
Yeah.
I'm trying to better life for my kids. So
It's
I
funny because I'm gonna
definitely
say
agree with
in
it.
Jackson, like, and oh Lord, I ain't gonna be negative about my city because I enjoy its people that I
Yeah,
do
I
enjoy that.
love where I'm from. Yes,
But
the
it's
real is the
also
real.
people that they'll never let you forget. You know how it be in the community for some people. And that's every community, not just ours. But it's
Mhm.
people that will never let you forget. They'll never let you live down when you were at your lowest. They will
Mhm.
continue to remind you of it.
Mhm.
That's why sometimes once you leave old circles, that's old circles. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I can show up to interact, but I'm not meant to be back a part of this
Part
circle.
of it. Mm-hmm.
Like I can
Yeah.
understand it, and when I go back at
And
certain
people get
friends,
salty behind that because they don't have it, they don't understand it, and they think you're acting funny. Oh, you think you too much because you done moved here? No, I don't think that I'm too much.
I am,
We're just in a
I
different.
am. The
Well,
thing
yeah,
about it
you
is,
are.
I think like sometimes we downplay our success with old circles or old friends because it's like we don't want to come off negative by saying I feel like I'm much. No, I do, because it take a lot of energy and a lot of mental focus to get up and make steps happen. It took, just like,
Yeah, I
we're
think
sitting
it's
on a
more so of a
platform
thing. Yeah.
that the idea for this platform came up because we wanted just to talk point of stage where we can just sit and be real and have those type of conversations and those type of vibes, and not have to sugarcoat or change up our dynamic of what we talking about or who we are. That's why this season the big focus is, on getting those out, talking about self, getting the BS out, just, cleansing. You know what I mean? Basically getting all our topics out. Of course, talking about things that are going on in the world, but also just addressing stuff that can help people build and be greater. It's not,
Mhm.
the platform is not targeted towards a certain group, although the name may say
Mhm.
melanin. It's not targeted towards a certain group. It's for
Because we're
whoever
not the
wants to
only
be
ones
a
that
part
go
of
through
our circle.
things,
Yeah.
right?
And so, with that being said, when I created the idea, I had to cut myself off from certain individuals too. And I had to get to myself on a level by myself as well, because it was, I got to sit in my creativity while this works, and
Mhm.
I can't kind of shift it and get over here and do everything that you're trying to do over here without me focusing in on it. And some friends help, they donated, they supported.
Mhm.
They are the reason that the sites are up and that we're on the platforms that we are and this and that. Because that none of that is free. So they have contributed and helped me out. Those are your real circle members. Those are the
Mhm.
people who are really trying to be there, and they're supporting you through whatever. They don't care how big
Mhm.
it may get, or if it doesn't. They don't care. They just want to be a part of. Then you
Mhm.
have those individuals who, I don't know, you sure you want to do that? Da 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 da.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I don't
And
want doubt. Like
I
you
don't want
already
you to
dealing with
feel
doubt.
right, because that's the first thing you do when you think of an idea. You get
Mhm.
in and you get excited, and then the realism of it sits in, and you're like, you know what? I don't let me take this to somebody because I need to see if this is real.
Yep.
So it's, I think like the big lesson in the boat is your circle can always get booted off the island.
And it's a big impact
It's
on
a big
you as an
impact on you, and it's a statement for who you are. Birds of a feather flock. I can't say the word I want to say together.
mhm.
Uh, but just, I mean, if you're thinking about your circle and you want to evaluate, think about what we said on episode 1. What was that moment that you did some bullshit and you knew it was bullshit the moment you thought about it? Like,
Mhm.
sometimes we know when I start hanging out with so and so. Yeah, I don't know what made me start talking to this person. I should have left that the hell alone. But over time, I mean, she was cool. I mean, she don't want to do nothing. She
Mhm.
ain't gave me gas money in 3 years. But I'll rock with her. Like, come on now, But it
Mhm.
is what it is. But this was a fun get in a learning lesson. So I hope you guys take this and put it in the books, because it's real
Yeah.
talk, real situations, like real
And then
things.
the thing about it, if you all haven't or haven't seen any what's been going on with Shekinah and Tiny, I feel like I would suggest that you go and see, because to me, the friendship that the world thought they had, it wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? And and I know our platform is not about celebrities, but they're going through both of them, to me, are going through a moment of being friends for so long and now realizing that their friendship wasn't what it really was. And when, like you said earlier, when you put so much time and invested so much time, you don't really take the time to step back to realize it before damage is done. And it's like by the time that you've realized it, because 10 to 15 years went by, and that you're reflecting on, okay, 2001 this happened, but I didn't even look at it like that. But now it's 2022, you see that there was BS,
Yeah,
they didn't have to do that. We didn't have to go, so
but
it's
that's
so
everybody in
important.
every situation.
Yes, it's so important to evaluate the people that you have around you, because you don't want anyone, like, people will be around you and they don't even like you, but they just around you because they want to see what you have going on, and they're gonna if you have that one person, to me, if you have that one person or multiple people in your circle that every time you come to them with an ideal or a situation, they always have something negative to say, you reevaluate that person, because it shouldn't always have to be something negative every time you go and talk to them.
I 100% agree. And I must say, like, when it boils to it, circles are what they are. They may seem like they're infinite, but it's always a way out.
Mhm.
You don't let it define who you are as an individual. Remember, you start you start the ripple. You are the person who put the finger into the water and watched it grow. Like that was you. So you have the power to control the circle that you keep around you and the company that you
Mhm.
keep around you. You can have a circle of negativity or you can have a circle of positivity, but you allow whatever is around you. So make sure you think of
Mhm.
it. With that being said, this was a very, very, very fun topic to talk about. Although it was serious in a way.
Yeah.
Very fun topic to talk about. And of course, we got more coming ahead. Join us on the website where we always say like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you guys are tuning in and getting those things together. Right now, we are working on a couple of new things and especially our timing on release. So, make sure that you guys are keeping it posted. We'll make sure we're in there telling you guys what the next move is going to be.
Mhm.
We enjoyed all the time that we spend. Look forward to hearing you, on our page. Drop comments, drop likes. Make sure you're supporting us in the best way you can. With that being said, we're going to say we are out tonight. Thank you. And this was a
Yep.
great conversation.
It was. Until next time. It went by
Until
so
next,
fast.
I know, right? The Melanin Playbook, y'all. Go make sure you check out the web page. I'm saying, get it.
Yes, and interact with us for sure.
Bye, you guys.
Bye bye. Until next time.